all friends of mine already connected to Sweden.
Hello everybody and welcome to Suderbyn. Hey, you can film Laura before she leaves.
Hello, welcome.
We will see her quite soon. So as you see, it is an incredible sunny day. We're not in Australia, we're not in Africa. This is Sweden and welcome to Suderbyn Ecovillage. This is a small area of our farm, our garden. You can see Kiwi, our technical guy, checking that things are okay. And here you have Hedwig, that were just transplanted this morning. So what kind of plant is it?
Spinach.
Spinach. Wait.
Careful. It's spinach that we have sown it in the nursery. I think you'll get there later.
Yes.
And now we transplanted it to the soil outside.
So a little close up on the plants that are, just...
They look a little sad now, but they will rise up again in some time by the sun and the water.
Okay, and as you can hear, it is quite windy. That's why we have this extra mic. Please bear with us. But otherwise, it is quite a beautiful day, and we are quite happy. All the community is really happy to host the setting. It's one of the first. And I'm gonna just talk a little about the area around here. So as you can see, this is when we grow our main crops. So yeah, there's spinach around here. When I arrived 6 months ago, it was full of potatoes, of carrots, of beetroots that right now are a little resting. That's why we call all of those lines beds. So they are resting around here, and hopefully in a few weeks, but even now, I think we can already see the green coming back and winning the fight against winter. So you must say, yes, that now the place looks a little empty because workers have run away as soon as we came with the camera, but we're gonna find them little by little and share a little about how we do things. So we'll start with the greenhouse, for instance. So the climate here is pretty cold, pretty freezing. That's why we have this nice greenhouse. And we have Jing. Hello, Jing.
Hello people, I'm Jean.
Currently harvesting salad for the lunch. Hopefully you will get the food presentation later. And as you can see here, thank you, Jean. As you can see, we have a really nice weather. No, you can see. So this is Turbine. We have 2 cats around here. Really likes this space. Pretty warm. I look in the thermometer, it's 21 degrees right now. And we have one question.
Yes, I would like to remind everyone that I am reading all your comments live, and if you have any question, I will ask them to Abdul. So please, in the comments, you can ask any question you want.
Thank you very much, Kiwi. And maybe I will show Alina that is that doesn't want to be on video, but you will be there a little later. So about the greenhouse, as you can see right now on the thermometer, it's 22 degrees. Just to let you know, outside it's 4 degrees. So no heating whatsoever, just natural sun, a lot of plastic around, and the plants are quite healthy and quite growing. And that's one kind of the techniques that we use around here to have plants that would not grow otherwise. I mean, the salads, it's not their climate right now, and the spinach should come a little later in spring. And Turbine, we can leave him here. Okay. Antoine, are you free?
We have one question.
Yes.
So Eric is asking us, how the hell can it be reaching 22 degrees when it's only 4 degrees outside?
Yes, so maybe we can do a little outside shot of the greenhouse. So the greenhouse, you can see we have all of this stark plastic all around that lets the sun rays get in, but nothing getting out. So it's usually really closed and sealed so that no wind can come in and the fresh air cannot get in either. So it's greenhouse effect actually. The same thing that happens to our planet with the CO2 and the methane in the atmosphere. That's what we replicate around here. So just this sun all day will help us create this microclimate inside. It does not take any energy, but of course it takes a little infrastructure to build it. Yeah, pretty much it. You can do that anywhere in the world. Back to Antoine. Hello Antoine.
Hi.
So for people who were there yesterday at our webinar, Antoine shared with us his philosophy about why growing food is the single most important thing we can do. Thank you, Kiwi. Thank you for the master. Yes. How is it there?
Here. Yes. So it's better here.
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe you can film a bit. So you can see behind us there's kind of a mound, a U-shaped mound. If you turn around in this direction as well, which is man-made. The idea with this horseshoe, as we call it, is to create a suitable microclimate. Should I hold it?
Yes.
Microclimate for the plants to grow in, and also it's also suitable.
Yep. I'm back. We are back.
So I don't know where you lost when you lost me. Well, I will sum it up very quickly so that you can go up to something else. But basically, the idea with what we're doing, working with nature and not against nature, and working with permaculture, is to create beneficial relationships, is to create systems that maintain themselves and that require less work from you for humans. So this example with the wind and the sun, if we have a dominant wind coming from the south, coming from England, and we want to be, for example, have trees protecting this area, or bushes, or anything forming windbreaks that would warm up the area, and that's an example. And another thing with permaculture is that you have one element performing several functions. So this tree would not just be making a windbreak, but also giving fruits or nuts, shelters for wild animals, maybe pollen for the wild pollinators. So again, it can be many more things. It can be forage, it can be toilet paper, many more functions, and that's a good example. So you can see, maybe if you zoom a bit on this part, which is a bit darker, this bed there, we transplanted spinach today. So yeah, we try to work as much as possible with making the season, using the time of the season to extend it as much as possible. So the spinach was sown in the nursery a few weeks ago, and now it's being transplanted, and in a few weeks, 1 month, something we can harvest it. And now you can see the people gathering leaves that we gathered from our neighbors who want to get rid of it. They think it's a waste, we think it's a resource. So this is a good example of using natural material that is free and available to feed the soil. This is also part of our philosophy, to feed the soil, not feeding the plants, and then the soil, thanks to the microlife and the that exist there, the worms, the bacteria, the fungi, help the plants grow healthy, so that the humans who will eat them will be healthy, and then the cycle continues with bringing back our waste back to the soil, thanks to compost toilet and composting, etc. So that the cycle continues.
Yeah, maybe we can show the steps that they are doing right now on the other horseshoe.
Sure. So now we are going slowly to the next horseshoe. There are 7 of them on the soil gathered from the pond, from digging the pond. So when we are coming,
We don't hear you.
Yes,
I think too much fun, guys.
yeah.
I think this microphone is not the one. I think the microphone is this one.
Do I understand correctly that you have some kind of plant nursery?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Yeah, we have a nursery. We can visit it later, maybe.
Okay.
Do you hear better now?
So now maybe we can show the practice of mulch. Our
Now,
cutie fava beans.
Talk in the phone because
Yes.
I don't hear.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you will see how we are mulching our cute fava beans that we transplanted today. And this is very important because first of all it will also protect them from the frost, but also the mulch that we put, which in this case is dry leaves, will basically keep the water much better. Yeah, so that's how
Yes, and
we do that.
also about the weed I heard. So because
Yes, exactly. Yes, it's also about weeding, that it will be less then because the weeds cannot grow since this we cover the ground. And actually, if we look at nature, in nature there is no naturally bare ground basically. So the ground is always covered. And so we inspire ourselves from that. If you go to a forest, there is always a layer of mulch on top.
Nice.
And here actually we're using leaves, which is the same as can be found on a forest floor. So yes.
yeah, it's a. You will hear a lot about cycles, I would say, or yeah. Let's move to this area here also. Yes, so you can see around here a lot of beds that will take care of them slowly, little by little. There is a great. Maybe we can talk a little about the planning of the garden and how things will.
Yeah. So basically, it's very important so that we don't waste time in summer to have everything well planned and during the winter, and things are put in a way that we already know what's going in which bed and how the succession goes, and then it allows you, even on a small space. This looks quite big, but for 20 people it's quite little. I saw a question about self-sufficiency. We're quite far from this right now, but it's more about the learning process, and maybe in a few years it will be more real. Basically, it's before spreading out. When you have some land, it's important to try to make the most of the small amount that you have. So that's why succession and clever rotation is very important. So for example, you grow something during the winter, and then as soon as it's ready you harvest everything, and then you can plant something else. Or sometimes you can have a plant that starts to grow under the other one, and instead of having 2 beds you only have 1. For example, with basil and tomatoes, they grow very well together and they sort of help each other. And you can have other examples. For example, we'll put the mash under the fava beans a bit later, and the mash is kind of a creeping salad. It doesn't need much sun, doesn't need much heat, and they will do fine under the beans. And instead of having 2 beds, we can have 1. I see that there was a question about the nursery, so maybe we can move to this later when we'll go in the dome.
Yes, we're going to the dome soon, but first let's take a round 180 degrees to meet Alisa.
No, to meet the heart of Suderbyn. Hey, I hope you had a good time in the garden.
And now we will speak a bit more about fundamental parts of Suderbyn. Maybe it's easier to go to the dome and speak about it there. So, but as we are walking, maybe something to tell would be about fundamental beliefs of Suderbyn. We believe that one of the main crimes that the humanity has done to its own civilization is breaking the cycle of nutrients. So basically, in nature, everything works in a way that everything what is dead becomes a part of the new life. And somehow, we as humans managed in a very short time to break the cycle into a linear system in which we buy food from far away, we digest it, we shoot it out and flush with drinking water, and it goes in larger water bodies and eventually contaminates the sea with excessive nutrients.
Question? No, not question. Continue.
Lot of wind.
Yeah, lots of, it's really windy here. I can stay here for a second. No. Oh, is it too windy?
Let's try.
Let's try. So, maybe just to show, this is one of the toilets of Suderbyn, and the main base and the main belief of the place is that we need to close our cycle back. One closed loop. So, let's go. Shall we stand here for a little while?
Yes.
That part was supposed to be outside, but because it's too windy, we will speak about it here inside. Can you hear now? Can you hear?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. That's not so interesting, and this is what we are talking about. But the part which I try to describe is that in Suderbyn we try to close the loop of the organic matter. So everything what comes or is created in Suderbyn, all the organic waste, our own manure and other parts, we all take care of it. So basically coming here, you start to learn how to take care of your own shit. Well, also your personal shit, but particularly I'm talking about the organic matter. And we have 6 toilets around the area, and all of them are dry compost toilets. It means that we separate solids and liquids, and we take care of them separately. So the urine becomes either fertilizer diluted with water, or we also use it as a catalyzer for the compost process in our compost heating system. And the solids get mixed with the sawdust, and we compost it first for half a year, and after this it becomes like a dry matter, not smelly, not actually being separate from, yeah, it becomes a dry fertilizer. And then we compost it more, and then we use it directly to the soil. So basically, our own shit becomes our own food in the future. Then other organic waste becomes either a food for compost, so also the fertilizer for the future for the ground, or we feed it into the biogas digester. This is something we will see now. So it's difficult to see in this area because it's lots of different constructions on top, but basically inside, in this warm coat, this is the prototype of the biogas digester, and Suderbyn was the first Ecovillage to import the technique from old Chinese technology, 3,000 years old, and basically it's the same system which people use in India, China, some African countries, everywhere where the energy system is not monopolized and not sold to people as something they cannot make themselves, because biogas system allows you to make energy yourself. So what we do, we feed it into Tommy's mouth, somewhere there. All the organic waste from the kitchen, so basically food to eat, our biogas digester eats, and then it creates, on one hand, biogas out of it, which can be used for cooking or eventually for heating, even though we don't produce enough now. And also on the other hand, it creates the byproduct of liquid fertilizer. So basically it functions as a stomach of a cow, which digests the organic matter. Perhaps we need to speak about it more in the energy session, which will happen in a few days. So for now, just a short overview of the rest of the area.
Yeah, let's have a walk.
Maybe we can go.
So in order to make sure that this part works, we decided to use the dome, which was standing before as a greenhouse, to make it warm enough for our biogas digester. And then we also had a number of experiments with ventilation system and growing food in a vertical way. This experiment was done mainly for the urban area, because we have enough land but other people don't. So we were running some experiments with growing food in a different way. But the further we go, the more we come back to growing food for this place too, and becoming more self-sufficient and not only experimenting. I think, is Anton around?
Yeah, I think we're looking about the nursery around here. Then the scale of Tommy is quite interesting. So we can come here. Oh, it's so warm. So you do not believe me, but if I was in t-shirt, it would be really fun, because I think it's 30 degrees here in the nursery. So as you can see, we have our small seeds that are already sprouted. So that's where it all starts. We let them stay here around. Then, behind you, it's the small one. Yes, that are just sprouting since a few days. And that's all they need.
I don't hear you now.
Ah,
I don't know what happened.
so we'll start again. Yes. So this is the nursery. This is where all the future plants are slowly growing until they have enough. I think it's a signal.
The sound is muffled somehow. Maybe you have your finger on the... No?
No.
Nice.
Yeah, the signal maybe.
So yeah, everything that we will eat someday, everything that will grow outside starts here, and that's where the transplanted spinach started here actually. And believe me, it is so hot inside, so hot. Already in the dome, it's warm, way warmer than outside. Another greenhouse effect. And yeah, that was the nursery. Shall we get a look at the Tommy from?
I think we will spend more time on the biogas system when it's energy session. Maybe we can go outside and take a look at the wind turbine and the solar system and the general overview of the place. People are complaining online that it's impossible to hear when you're outside. So when we go outside now, I think we will not be speaking that much, but we will take a look at the self-built wind turbine, which is basically welded here from scratch. And then you will see also a bit of an overview of the Ecovillage. So we will just enjoy the wind and the sun without much talking. Yeah?
Whoa, we lost 10 degrees.
And we can go a bit faster.
And now we lost 20 degrees. So can you guess what animal is this? What shape of animal is it? Yes.
Maybe we need to walk a bit faster.
Yes.
Welcome to the stage. So we just can take a look around. Dome, garden, barn. There's the main house where we live. There is a horseshoe with the sauna, which we cannot use due to the permissions. Wind turbine.
What do you think of the design of this wind turbine? It was homemade, and right next to it, around here, you can see the solar panels. So both of them, that's what provide most of the energy that's needed for the dome.
Well, basically the dome is off grid, so it's only the solar and wind. And then we can turn, and this is another part of the Ecovillage. We call them bungalows, even though in most of the society they're called caravans. And there is a little lake there, and this is a little living site which is off-grid from the electricity. It uses the firewood for heating, and there is a little lake behind us also. Have you spoken about the landscape? Let's go! It's easier from here.
Yeah, it's true.
So basically the whole landscape of Suderbyn is shaped in 7 horseshoes. You can see them a little bit from here, but it's difficult. So these hills around, it's actually 7 horseshoes which create like a protection from the wind. You hear that it's very windy, and create a little bit of a microclimate for the garden to grow in a more safe environment. And then there are also 4 ponds which we excavated, 3 of them from the very first year, and it's out of these ponds that we have these piles of rocks.
Yes, Kiwi, we have a question.
Yeah, we have a question about first the capacity of the wind turbine. What is the capacity of the wind turbine, and why isn't it turning even if the people can hear a lot of wind blowing?
Nice.
And also,
Great.
who is living in the bungalows?
Okay,
Good question.
a lot of questions. Okay.
Come
So
closer.
it generates 2,000 kilowatt. It's a 2,000 kilowatt wind turbine. As you can see, the problem is the wind is shifting from direction to direction. And although you can hear that it is a strong wind, yeah, you can literally hear it's strong. It's not strong enough for that. We need at least 8 meters per second of wind for it to start. And now you have not seen how windy it is. And what was the last question? Who lives in a bungalow?
People!
People! We all dream to live there. As soon as one bungalow gets free, everyone jumps there. And right now there's a cleaning one going from one of them. And it is one of the coziest places here in Suderbyn, because you are quite in a remote spot. You are really off-grid, disconnected, no electricity, no Wi-Fi, and you have a view, all of this view only for you.
Maybe it makes sense to say that we are usually around 25 people, and we live in very different conditions. So there is a whole spectrum of the accommodation conditions. There is the main house, which is more typical farmhouse with electricity and internet in it, and kitchen downstairs where we all get together and eat every day together. But there are also a couple of houses nearby which still have electricity but don't have the kitchen kind of capacity. And then there's also these bungalows which are more remote. So and in summer people also tent a lot because we usually have more people than we have accommodation. Yeah, so it's very diverse.
Yeah. We can continue and keep the questions popping. So the wind turbine is really interesting because last winter it was so windy, one of the blades broke and we had to build a new one. I think we did that in November, so we took it down, put the blades again, tested it. Otherwise the system is pretty standalone right now. Both the photovoltaic main and the wind turbine. We have 8 car batteries around that store the energy provided by both of them, and they provide everything we need for the dome. Totally closed loop, totally off-grid. And since we're talking about off-grid, I'm gonna show you something also. So all the water that's here at Suderbyn comes from rainwater or from the water that we recycle. And I think it should be let's go this way. It's also groundwater, but it means we are not connected to the main grid. The water we drink, it is the water that's coming here from the ground. So even when we clean, even when we... Okay, I will try to speak louder. So all the water comes from us, so we use only biodegradable product, even as soaps and disinfectants. So that's all from here. Now we are getting close to the fireplace, an area that we will start hopefully using more and more now that the warm days are coming. And here we have Ben working on it, hiding in the cabin.
a few questions. Some that I can answer, some that I cannot.
Yes.
So first question is how many people are living here? On average it's 20 people. And the ratio of permanent residents and volunteers is about 50-50. Also, I had the question of the superficie, or like how many hectares the Suderbyn have. It's 5 hectares. And also, I had a question.
The question about how is the land owned? So the land is owned by a foundation. From the foundation, then we have 2 separate entities. We have the cooperative, that's composed of the core members, people that are dedicated here for a few years and are committed to the development of Suderbyn. And then we have an NGO called Relearn that shapes all the outreach program, educational programs, and both of this council form the foundation. So the land, you can say, it's shared by both the people that are living in it and the people that are striving for its growth and its outreach. You could come and try and do a test living to do it, like Alina. She's doing a test living right now. And yeah, just give it a try as soon as the confinement ends and the travels can start again. Let's go over there.
I have a question
Yes?
about food production. How many people can you feed during 1 year?
Let's answer by walking. So we are not sustainable yet, especially during winter times. So during spring and summer, I can tell you that there is enough food that we don't know what to do with it. We do a lot of, how is it conserve? I forgot the word. Damn, I hope there's a French speaker that can write conserve in English in the chat box. We do a lot of jams, preserve. We do a lot of preserves around here. In winter, autumn, and fall and winter, we actually have to buy. We have to buy a significant amount. We try to be as local as possible. Gotlandish. We are in Gotland, which is an island in Sweden. We try to buy as much as possible local from here. And here I'm gonna show you, because we've talked a lot about food, what happens after you eat. This is one of the most beautiful toilets that we have here. It's called Rapunzel. Maybe from the back so that we can see the overview. So what's great about this toilet, it's really remote. You have a nice view. Maybe we can show from the window. You have a really nice view from the outside. It is really calm. And yeah, welcome to Rapunzel. Up. Let me close that. We don't want one of our... Other questions?
There is a person which seems to be really interested in coming here because he is asking, how can we come here and volunteer?
Okay, so you can go to the website suderbyn.se, or also on our Facebook page we can have all the links. We regularly, twice a year, make a call for volunteers. Actually, I am a volunteer. I arrived here 6 months ago and I'm gonna be there until the end of September. So I'm working for 1 year, contributing to the projects. Ben is also a volunteer. We came roughly at the same time. So that's pretty much it for the volunteering program that we do. And then, if you want, you can also make a spontaneous application. And yeah, tell us who you are, what you want to do here, and we'll let you know. Kiwi is also a volunteer, actually.
But you have to be under 30 years old to be funded by the European Union if you want to volunteer.
Yes, and yeah, there are a lot of possibilities. Let us know. As you can see here, so people always ask me how is it going with the quarantine and the confinement, because of course we're an eco-village, maybe we need a little connection from the outside world. But you see, we are still most of the time outside. We're basically already in quarantine, just living with the same 20-25 people all around us. And so it's really business as usual, life as usual. So of course we are really impacted with what's happening outside. And that's also why we decided to host all these webinars this week, because yeah, we are really blessed with what we have here and would rather share it as much as possible. Yeah. definitely. So now we're leaving quite of the garden and farm area. We're getting closer to the house. On your left and on your right, you can see the ponds that we were talking about before. So they were dug up so that we can store water. Again, we're not connected to the main grid for the water. Up, let's go on the right, left. Thank you. Up, look at the surprise. Yeah, the tulips have started. I will send you daily updates on how they grow. So, yeah, maybe a little look at the pond. And now we're also getting closer to the road, so you can hear the cars. So this is the main house. And right beside it, there is this outside kitchen that we use mainly in the summer. So again, it was built by our own hands. The rock that you see here, that's what came from the pond. So we dug up the pond and we directly used the same rock, the same dirt, to build something out of it. Yeah, so we have ovens, we have several appliances to use. I cannot wait to use it again. Right now, believe me, it is really cold. I am switching hands, holding the mic. Alina is doing the same with the phone. And the idea with this outside kitchen is you're cooking right here, and here are the vegetables, because this is also some beds in which we will grow food right next to us. So when we cook and we say it's fresh vegetables, it is 1 hour fresh.
We have a question. So Anna is asking if the recording will be available afterwards, after the live.
Yes! That was a short answer.
And also another question about the name of the toilets. Why is it named
Whoa!
naming the toilets?
Okay, this is a great question. I do not know the answer. I definitely do not know the answer. So I will let you know and I will post it on our page. I just want to highlight this. It's a design that you will find a lot in permaculture principle. It's called the spiral. And this is one of our herb garden. So if I had to make a quiz and ask you what do you see as plants here, you can see some parsley, there's celery around here, thyme a little dead in the back, but soon it will start growing again. And yeah, we are merging both function and design so that it looks nice. And yeah, that's what you can really see here around here. The beautification is as important as the function that we try to make. Ah yes, good idea. Yeah, this way. Let's go this way. Okay. Oh. We're gonna have to jump. Do you see the sign? Okay, just for you guys, we're gonna open it, but it's really just for you. Don't tell anyone, okay?
I'm risking jail for this.
This is an outside shower. It was built, again with our hands, using straw bale. Up, yeah, let's close it. Yeah. Wow, it is so quiet around here. And so this outside shower, we close it during the winter because otherwise the pipes will freeze. And I can share something really interesting. If we look at the back where all the chairs are, the idea when we use this shower is to put plants there. So again, we will have a greenhouse effect behind it. Up, maybe you can up on the top. Oh, no, it's too high. Maybe from the outside. Yeah, let's go outside. Can I finish about this one? I will explain the function of this one. Yeah. So we have this outside shower. and it serves two functions. Well, first you shower, so you raise the temperature inside. You create water vapor, and around here in this side you have another greenhouse. That's where we will put plants. So the greenhouse will make it again a small microclimate. So when you go to the shower, it's already warm. When you take your shower, you warm it even more. That will help the plants arriving here. So we create a positive loop of functionality, and also, I don't know about you, but it looks nice, doesn't it? And we had a question, Kiwi.
Yeah, we have two questions. One question that is kind of difficult, so maybe we don't have the time to answer it
Okay,
fully.
we have technical issue.
No, alors, have you got a kind of development plan for the 5 hectares of land?
Yes.
Where and what to build, shape the landscape, or is it rather spontaneous?
Okay.
This is the first question.
Let's go this way to answer this. So it's a great question. So usually, if you hear about eco-villages and communities, as soon as they get into the finding the land is the most important thing. You find the land, and then you start designing. You have a master plan for a few years. It does not mean that in the first 2 years, 3 years, you will build the main house, the secondary house, and the ponds. This pond, it was built last year. So Suderbyn is 11 years old. It took 9 years to build the pond that was already in the master plan. Because things take time, and there's a right timing to build everything. So there is a master plan, and we try to activate building something or working on something when it's the right timing, actually, when you have the right people, when you have the right knowledge. Because I mean, even building something like that, handmade, it requires quite some expertise, quite some civil engineering expertise also. You need to know about the regulation about the country you're living. So there are a lot of spontaneous things, but it's rather good if you plan and prepare. And usually that's what we say even when we do natural building. Half of the time is the planning, is making the design, preparing the materials, looking at the regulations, and then half of the other time is screwing it up and then building it somehow.
And the second question?
Second question.
We had a second question from Kiwi's father.
Oh, hello Kiwi's father.
Who is asking if everybody here is vegetarian.
Yes, so that's one of the key commitments when people come and visit or join to work at Suderbyn. So we are a vegetarian community. All meals are even vegan. So we tolerate people that buy their own eggs, their own milk, but the community doesn't. So all the meals that we have are vegan, and we expect at least vegetarians diets around here. And yes, you can see a little part of other housing. So this is the greenhouse that can host up to 3 people. Well, at least there are 3 rooms, so I don't know how many people there can be. Here you have the White House. And on the left you have the heating house. Simon, are you free? Yes, kind of. So here we welcome Simon. Simon is gonna make a talk. Yeah, the wind is really strong, so we have to.
Hey there.
Simon is gonna make a webinar tomorrow about energy and why your renewable future might look different as what you might expect. I'm doing some advertising.
Nice.
What are we looking at, Simon?
We are looking at the former workshop here. It was a metal workshop, and we built a heating system inside. So basically pipes, and yeah, we can go in. Be careful, don't hit your head. Not like it ever happened to me these days. So yeah, you can see a couple of things. Wood oven, a gas furnace up there on the right side.
Slowly. So this is
A wood furnace.
okay.
So an oven for wood, where we can burn wood to heat up the water. Up there is a gas furnace. That's this part here, where we will use the biogas from Tommy, which you probably already saw.
Yes.
And what else do we have? A couple of pipes and connections here. So these pipes and the hot water storage tank. And these pipes down here, they run to the different radiators through the ground here, and then into the office and to other places. And what we do right now is basically to make this whole room fireproof, and that's why we also need these gypsum boards and this glass wool in order to let's say apply to the regulations that exist here in Sweden.
What is the regulation?
EI 30. That means fireproof for 30 minutes after there's fire in this room. That means there needs to be a certain well, thickness of insulation, and this can be achieved in our case with the gypsum boards on both sides, and in between we have this glass wool.
Interesting. So again, about the spontaneity of buildings, well, even though we could spontaneously decide to make a boiling room or a heating room, then again you have to to apply the regulation around here and also the security measures. Yeah, but this highlights quite a nice system because we can use electricity, biogas, and wood. So that means whenever, yeah, we'll have the question. So that means if we have enough sunlight to heat us up, then it's perfect. If we have the biogas production going on because we have a lot of food leftovers and Tommy is farting a lot, then we can use it as biogas. And if we have neither of them, then there is the wood. And we're gonna go in our wood store that you can see we have a lot. Yes!
Bye bye.
Bye Simona, thank you, and
See you tomorrow, guys.
Bye bye, Simon.
Bye bye.
So we have a question from Darius. I hope I am pronouncing your name well. To what extent do you employ people from the neighborhood, or is everything done with your own resources?
Nice. Okay. So most of the things are done with our own resources. There are quite some exceptions and of connection that we have with the local land. Antoine mentioned it. We have a partnership with the local hotel that's next door, and a lot of leftover that come from this hotel, be it leaves, sometimes even fruits, truckloads of fruits that are deemed unusable for business occasions. We actually use them. So we had a truckload of apples, of pears, that we just cut the bad parts, the rotten part, and we made jam out of it. And this is one of the integration of how we try to commit ourselves to be linked and connected with the local people. Also with the food we purchase, the lentils are coming from Gotland, most of the flour, and a lot of things. And yeah, hopefully we can create more and more connection to the local land, because that's also the point of having an eco-village, and to try to integrate and raise awareness about that. Okay. Oh, we're going back to the wind. Let me plug that again.
Maybe before we're going to the wind.
Yes, before the wind.
Before the wind, there is Constantine asking what's an eco footprint of an average Suderbinian.
Great question. Do you want to talk a little about energy?
I mean, if we have time tomorrow, we can talk about this a bit more in detail. For average Suderbinian, I mean, it's very difficult to make generalizations here because some people travel a bit more, some people stay longer, some people shorter. But I would say, honestly speaking, half of the footprint of a normal Swedish person. Half to 1/3.
Nice. At least energy-wise, and then energy-wise, right?
Energy-wise,
Energy-wise, yes. And this is a great transition because we can go to the recycling station. Then up. Be careful with the door. Up. Let's go to the recycling station. So of course maybe Theo first. Hey Theo. Can you share with us what you are doing?
Well, we have this small electric car that we use for carrying things from one side to another side, and it has been broken for a few months now. So yeah, just trying to fix it.
Nice, thank you, Theo. Yes, let's go to the recycling station. So one thing is that it's incredible in Sweden. So for instance, I'm French. I was quite surprised on how serious and committed Sweden is regarding recycling, because everything is really well made. So I hope it's not a mess. Oh, look at that! It is quite clean, almost like we prepared it before the talk. So in Sweden, most of the things you can really sort them before bringing them to a recycling station. So the glass that is colored, that is transparent, the plastic, hard plastic, papers, packaging papers, metals, textile, a lot of things. You can already sort them, and that's what we do. So just yesterday we had a recycling trip. So it's not because we're living in an eco-village that we don't produce waste. We actually do. We buy a lot, and there is packaging, there is plastics. We are trying to get there. We are really trying to get there. I don't want to give you a really beautiful picture that there is no waste produced. There actually is. What we do with it, that's the most important thing. That we recycle it, we sort it, or we reuse it. Yeah. Question?
Yeah, we have a really interesting question, I think.
Attention.
Yes, so Lena is asking us, how do we decide who is doing what kind of work around the eco-village?
Nice. So we will share the picture afterwards. Every Monday, we set out all the tasks for the week. So there is 4 domains. There is the infrastructure. So for instance, the work on Tuli today on the car, the shed that Ben was building, and many other things. That's the infrastructure part. Then there's the garden that you saw. The work we did today with the beds, the mulching, the harvesting. Then I talked a little about the NGO, Relearn, with the outreach and the educational projects. That's also part of it. And then we have the administration part. So maybe we can go there to look at the office quietly. And then if you're familiar with agile methodology, it's exactly that. We go around the tasks that needs to be done. And there is, hello? Anybody there? Nobody. Let's go to the office. Turn off the light. Turn on the light. Yes. So this is the office. This is where most of the administration work goes. This is from where we do the webinars, for instance, if people were there yesterday. Quite a standard office, I would say, because there is a lot of administrative work, actually. Operations are key about bookkeeping, about taxes, about salaries. Yes, that's the part that's most connected to the, I would say, the outside world. Yes. Yeah, let's get out of the office. It's a sunny day. So to come back to the tasks. So every morning we present everything that is planned for today, the project, the tasks, and you can request for help. How many people do you need to fix a car? 0. But how many people do you need in the garden? 4. And then we go around and everyone presents and say, okay, I would like to contribute to this field and work there, or I want to launch this project around that. And we have weekly meetings of the building team and the garden team to prepare and to reflect what has been done this week, what should be planned next week. So in an organizational manner, we are trying to make it as professional and efficient as possible, because that's also one of the principles of permaculture. You invest your time, you invest your energy efficiently. And I can show you a little about this. So for the question of Lena, I think you contributed working on this when you were visiting us a month ago. Yes, they're quite tired, but we have some strong one that started growing. Just a little. Shall we go to the workshop?
Maybe we should. It's already 1:23, so maybe we should start ringing the bell to say that the food is ready.
Okay, I really wanted to go to the okay. Quick workshop. Quick workshop. Okay, quick. Okay, do we see? Do we have enough light? Yes. So welcome to the workshop. This is where any handmade thing. This is this is the paradigm of any work, any carpenter, any woodworker. We have all the tools for everything that you need. For wood, we have also safety tools. Please use it. Please use them. So for wood, we have for metal. You can do pretty much everything here. Everything by yourself. Yeah. Oh, I hear the bell.
Oh yeah.
So this is totally not rehearsed at all. I wonder who's coming with the bell. So a little story about the bell. So that means that lunch is ready. There is every day 1 or 2 people that commit themselves to prepare food, to prepare lunch for everyone. And when this bell, yeah, we can follow the bell actually. And when the bell, already? Okay, let's go to the house. So when the bell rings, means okay, lunch is ready in 5-10 minutes. And then you can start packing up, cleaning the tools, yeah, and go back home, I would say. Go back home. Up, a little focus on the right. We have an outside oven. If you saw the stories about the pizza days that we do, it comes from here. So it's a basic wood oven that can reach 300, 400 degrees usually. Yeah, pizza cooks quite fast with that. Yeah, I can also highlight a few things around the house. So as you can see, these big tanks, you have a white one here, you have a blue one at the end right here. Again, water harvesting. We are trying to save it as much as possible. So this house, it has 6 water tanks all around to save it. Yeah. Okay, let's go inside then. I will hold it so that you can remove your shoes. Okay. Look how many shoes we have. That's how many people we have.
Is it okay to hold it?
Yes, please. Ah, okay. I'm fine.
Okay.
Yes, I'm gonna show the dining room. Okay, I can remove this, I think. Yes. Hello, Camus. We're still alive. Let's go a little inside here. So this is the kitchen extension. Around here we have all the food that either we produce or either we buy. And if we buy, you can see we write the location from where it was produced. As you can see, Swedish. We are trying to buy as local as possible. And here it is the intermediary recycling station. So everything that we produce in the house comes here, and then we go to the other recycling, the outside recycling station. Yeah. We can go to the veranda. So unfortunately I cannot share the smell with you, but this smells really like oranges. Not really Gotlandish, not Swedish. But we need them. We're getting there. I promise you we'll get there. And this is where we have most of the storage to prepare for the jams. And yeah, quite a nice view from the veranda around here. And let's go to the dining room. And to answer again for Lena's question. Yeah, kitchen, dining room.
Good presentation!
Thank you, Kiwi. So let's show the wall. On your left. Yes. So Lena, to answer your question about how do we share the work, that's exactly what we do. So for people that are familiar with Agile methodology, that's exactly it. Here we put the weekly tasks, things that we have to do. And then on Monday morning, we go around and publish everything, push everything that needs to be done, in what order. We try also to balance it with the amount of people needed. So maybe we can zoom in on today. Today in the garden, what you saw, transplanting and bed preparation. We start at 9:30. We need 3 people to go. And as you saw, there was Hedvig, there was Jing. Yes. And a little on the top, as you can see. Okay. For me, it looks, it means something, but I can understand that it's a little chaotic from an outside view, but it can show what we're going to do tomorrow, for instance. We're going to sow seeds in the garden. There will be a manure management masterclass, only 5 places available. So as you can see, we have to fight and to market also the task and the project we do to get the volunteers to start working. And maybe we can go also to the essentials around here. So the essential, that's the basis of a healthy life in our community. Who's making lunch, who's taking care of the toilets, who's making bread, and a lot of other things. So that's how we share the workload. Of course, we're living in closed spaces, in living spaces, so there's a lot of cleaning that is needed. That's where the wheel of cleaning gets in. Oh. Thank you, Antoine. So also every Monday we go around. You put your name if you felt like you have not been here for a long time, and then we make the wheel go around and let luck or or bad luck decide what you're gonna clean or wash this week. So yeah, this is really to highlight how we live in a communal way with the tasks are really shared all around, and it's done in a transparent way. So you know everything that will happen, and you have a lot of ways to contribute around here. Yes. Is it ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Food presentation, guys.
Food presentation. So we're gonna conclude. We're gonna conclude the live pretty soon. So please hit the questions right now, because that's exactly how the first part of the day usually ends with the food presentation. So we have the cooks that have spent the whole morning preparing something. Kiwi and I actually started the morning preparing before doing the live. There's also Constance that contributed, and all the volunteers that are outside are coming back slowly and slowly. Actually, the first time you come to the kitchen, I would say. So welcome to the kitchen.
Show the whiteboard?
Yes, we show the whiteboard. Any question?
You can show the extension meanwhile.
Do you also sew clothes?
We did it.
We show the extension.
Yes.
This is extension. No, come. Abdul, this is extension. So this is a part of the house which was built, which is not a part of the original house. So you can see that there is some sites for taking care of your personal hygiene. There's also another thing here and quite a typical shower. See, we also have some conventional things, not as extreme as people think. We also have a washing machine, people often ask. And maybe something I want to show is our internal toilet, something we're really proud of. So, ta-da! Some basic beauty. Actually, this toilet, which is inside, was built only 2.5 years ago, something like this. Before this, we were always freezing our asses a little bit. So, as it says in Suderbyn, get your shit together and take care of your shit too, which is really important. Oh yeah, the toilet. The most important thing in Suderbyn.
Right from
yeah, this is how you separate urine and solids so you can compost it safely. By the way, this wonderful person was showing you.
And let's go to the food presentation.
Lunchtime.
Yeah.
They don't do it.
From this, yes.
This
Okay.
place.
Okay.
Food presentation.
Food presentation.
Who cooked? We're not the only one that cooked.
Consensus.
Yeah, Constance,
And
André,
you have to
Okay.
all the people that participated. I will start with. So I spent 2 hours just wrapping things. We have carrots, beetroot, parsley roots, and also here we have cabbage that has been soaking in olive water for 1 month. So
Oh la la.
enjoy it, it has been fermenting, and some rice, and the rest I can leave to the
Yes,
others.
so I prepared the soup based off carrots, beetroots, potatoes, lots of spices, and it has cooked for 3 hours. I think the spices are going to be quite good.
Okay, so some carrot fries, and with enrich you cut olive, and we have some onion, and creamy sauce, and you cook
Ketchup.
ketchup.
Is that
Ketchup.
ketchup? Homemade
Yeah,
ketchup.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. And I forgot the vinaigrette. I don't know how we say vinaigrette in English, so I just say it with Okay.
Too many French people around here. Too many. So thank you everyone that watched the live. I hope you enjoyed it. We will release the video soon, I guess. Thank you for the comments. Thank you Alina behind the scene that was holding and freezing her hands all around. Thank you for everyone that contributed outside and gave some tea. Thank you for Kiwi being your magnificent. Yes, thank you. So enjoy your meal and warm hugs from all the community.
We are hungry!
And clap!